Well, good afternoon, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope everybody's going to behave a little bit later on today. We know that there's some libation that is usually happening around this day. Welcome to the United Regional Chambers update. We appreciate you joining with us this afternoon. We try and bring on some interesting guests to talk about some of the happenings and some of the organizations in our area. Today, I'm happy to bring on Miss Amanda Blount, who is the Executive Director of the Literacy Center here in Attleboro. Well, good afternoon and welcome. How are you, Miss Amanda?
Hello, good afternoon. Happy St. Patty's Day.
I don't see any green on. I have some green. Where's your green? Come on.
I'm wearing green pants, I promise. You just can't see
Oh,
them.
okay. All right. I'm an equal
I
opportunity.
also have green. I have green around me. Does that count?
No, not quite. Not stick clovers. So, how are you today?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Good.
Good.
Well, we want to let people know a little bit more about the Literacy Center. The Literacy Center has been in town a long time. Your predecessor, Joan Ritchie, has done an awful lot. Tell us, how long have you been the executive director?
I have been the executive director for a little under 3 years now. It'll be 3 years in the beginning in June.
And what did you do before you came to the Literacy Center?
I was the executive director of a nonprofit in Hawaii, actually, a conflict resolution nonprofit in Hawaii, while my husband had taken us out there for his work. And prior to that, I worked at a mental health agency as a professional fundraiser for them in New Jersey.
So wait a minute, wait a minute. You came from Hawaii to the beautiful snowy Northeast?
I sure did. And I will say Hawaii is a wonderful place to visit, but I have found a lovely home here too.
Well, I've lived in Attleboro 36 plus years, and it's a great community, and we're glad that you're here.
It
Let's talk
is.
about the Literacy Center. Tell us a little bit about the background and some of the current offerings that the Literacy Center has.
Sure. So the Literacy Center, I'm sure many people know even more than I do about the history of it, and to some extent, because so many people in this community have been connected to the organization over the years. But we've been around for over 30 years in Attleboro. We serve the greater Attleboro region. In fact, we have students. Adult students from all over the region, from Rhode Island, Massachusetts, all the way up to Boston. But we provide adult basic education, which includes high school equivalency classes, English for speakers of other languages, computer, both beginner, intermediate, and advanced. We have a small group tutoring session for individuals who are seeking citizenship and are practicing for the citizenship exam. And we provide one-on-one tutoring to folks who are studying a myriad of subjects. All in all, we have about 600 students from 57 different countries, and we serve about 23 different towns in this area.
Now, obviously, with this COVID situation, it's much more difficult to hold your classes. Are all your classes online and virtual right now?
They are, yeah. We're providing all of our classes online. We also have a technology program for folks who didn't have devices that would have allowed them to be online classes prior. And we've worked really closely with our community partners to ensure that our students and those who are in need were able to access Wi-Fi hotspots and things like that. So we've worked really hard to make sure as many people as possible could get online, and we're really happy to say we haven't lost too many students due to that.
That's excellent. Now, how many instructors do you have?
We have 22 teaching staff.
And are these full-time positions, or because I know in the past you've looked for some folks to help out for some evening classes.
Right. So we have classes in during the day, in the evening, and on Saturdays. We try to accommodate the varying schedules of our students. Some work during the day, some work at night. Again, we all have different schedules, so we've tried to have classes at times that work best for them. Most of our students are working or would like to be working while they're also taking classes with us. Our teachers are part-time. Some of them teach multiple classes. And then we do have full-time staff members who are education counselors and career counselors and provide case management and counseling to our students in addition to their classwork.
So not just educational classes. You have career specialists that they'll help them. Did they help them find jobs too?
Yes. Yep. So we will help students. We have great partnerships within the community with varying employers and different companies, some of whom we actually provide English classes right on site for them if they have a non-English speaking employee base. But we also have really great hiring partnerships, and we continue to build those out. And it is something that we're looking to build out more with employers in this area. And so we do help students prepare their resumes, get ready for interviews, find jobs, apply for jobs, advance in their jobs, and all the other things that come along with it.
Well, that's an awful lot to try and take care of, and especially, like I said, during this COVID time, it makes things so much more difficult for you as well as the students. We're lucky we live in a very diverse community, but as you say, you service 20 plus others in the area. Where do you get your funding from?
So we are a 501c3 nonprofit. So all of our funding comes from contracts, grants, and donations. Our largest funding stream is a partnership that we have with Bristol Community College. We provide all of their English for speakers of other languages, all of their ESOL classes for the Attleboro area. So we are on a Department of Education grant with them as a subcontractor. We also receive funding from area foundations such as the Balfour Foundation, Harbor One, the United Way, South Coast Community Fund, and a number of other, Bristol County Savings Bank Foundation, a number of other really great foundations. As of this year, we also are recipients of funds from the Roddy Family Foundation for our English immersion program.
Excellent. And just filing for those grants and doing that's a full-time job in itself.
Yes.
We work with Catherine Fierick here in the city, and I know how much time she spends on filling out these grant applications to bring in all the great programs that she has.
Yeah.
And since we're talking about fundraising, okay, let's talk about this international tasting. Tell us a little bit.
So we do also fundraise in very fun ways. Not the grants aren't fun, but they can be a little dry. So we like to spice it up once a year and have a really fun event. The past 6 years, we've had an international tasting at the Elks Lodge in Attleboro. Unfortunately, last year we canceled our event because it was supposed to be in April, and we all know the world was shut down then. We decided this year we were not going to cancel it again. We refused to cancel it again, but we recognize that we can't safely gather at this time. So we are holding the event, but we're doing it virtually. It's a takeout edition. So in the past, our event has welcomed dozens of different restaurants and area businesses who would come to our event and donate food and their time to our guests, which has been unbelievably gracious of them. So in order to say thanks to all of these wonderful businesses, many of whom have been suffering greatly during the COVID crisis due to a lot of shutdowns and the economic downturn, we wanted really to do something to give back to them. So this event is it's a bingo style event. You go on the website and you purchase an international tasting passport, which is essentially a bingo card. It has a whole bunch of different restaurants on it, and you order takeout, or you can dine in when applicable and if you're comfortable. Oh, Jack's holding it up. Perfect.
I have mine. I already got mine.
Jack has his. So it's pretty simple. You get an email with the download, and then you play it like bingo. As you order takeout, you check off the restaurants, and the first 5 people to win will win prizes, which are listed on the website. And then I'll add that everyone who purchases a international tasting passport, so to speak, the bingo card, every single person will be entered in a weekly raffle drawing. And this is going on until April 15th.
Okay. And in this particular one, you've partnered with New Hope, with Marcia and her team over there.
That's
Tell us
right.
how that came about.
Yeah, so we are partnering with New Hope, and it's so exciting. I hope that we're able to continue to do this every year. But so Marcia and I work very closely together, as do our organizations. We obviously have many clients and students who have utilized both of our services. We both are very involved in the community, and we both have food and beverage tasting events as our primary fundraiser. So when I contacted Marcia, she was very excited to be a part of this. New Hope's event is usually held in the winter at Briggs Nursery.
Yep.
And it welcomes also lots of restaurants and food and beverage vendors. So we have similar style events, and we thought it would be a great partnership to run this together. So they are partnering with us on it.
That's just awesome. We love when we get our community partners to work together. Same thing if we have chamber members that work together. That's what it's all about. We
Yeah.
can't do this by ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're very great. We're very lucky to live in the community that we do, because I know that you'll get a ton of folks that'll get this passport. The chair of my board, Rebecca, she got hers first. I got mine yesterday. And we put it out through our weekly e-news yesterday, this morning rather. No, it was yesterday. I'm sorry. We put it out yesterday. So hopefully that will get a couple of people off their butts to press a couple of buttons here on the computer and download the group or the bingo card, I should say.
Yeah.
So what other programs have you got going moving forward at the Literacy Center?
Yeah, thank you for asking. It's been a very wild year for everyone, and the Literacy Center is no different. We did transition all of our classes online last March, and we've been online since then. We're in that big, beautiful historic building, but there's no social distancing in those rooms. So we have remained closed for safety purposes to our classes. However, we've really changed a lot of what we did over the past year, not only going virtual, but we have been the recipient of funding to provide rental and bill pay assistance to the families we serve. We've provided over $150,000 in financial assistance to families who lost their jobs and were unable to pay just their regular bills. We've also been able to utilize some of those funds housing situation. So we've been really grateful for the funding we've received and our ability to do that. In the upcoming year, we do really hope to be back in person in 2021. Fingers crossed that the vaccine rollout goes well and that people are able to safely gather and that we're able to get back together in a way that doesn't endanger anyone. But we hope to be back in person. But I will say we are also going to stay virtual. We have found that particularly with the people we serve, but I think probably with everyone, the ability to connect and learn online at your own pace from your home or from your place of work if you have a break or, wherever you may be. And they can still come and they can attend classes virtually using a tablet or a computer. So we'll stay virtual, but we will continue to give back to the community that's given so much to us. And I look forward to finding ways to deepen our partnerships.
Well, see, some of the things that you've brought out that I know I myself didn't know, that you do much more than just teaching. You're much more involved in the community. It's great that you partner with Bristol Community College. We do a ton with them. The new director over there, Kate, is wonderful. We work with Rob Geddes. And we also do stuff with Bridgewater State, with Kathleen DeSimone. So it's great to see these organizations work together within our community, because it's the only way that we're going to make our community stronger. Everybody, I heard this saying that we're all in the same boat. Well, we're not all in the same boat. We're all in the same storm. We're all in different boats. Everybody has a little bit different situation. And, with the diversity that you deal with on a regular basis, you've been a huge help to a lot of these families that are really suffering during this pandemic.
And they're a huge help to us. I mean, I would say the folks that we serve, by and large, in our student body are healthcare workers. They're delivery drivers. They work in grocery stores. They work in restaurants. They're small business owners. They are arguably the population of folks who have been hit the hardest during the pandemic economically, and and from a risk perspective, they've been, the most exposed and the most front line. And because of that, we are so happy to be able to give back to them. And this really feels like the least we can do for a population of people who have done so much for our community this year. So we're really happy to be able to continue to do that.
And I think the decision to stay virtually is going to help you in the long run because let's face it, if you have a full-time job, it takes time to get from your job to over to your place, then take care of the family, get back at home. Where now they can, head home, get on their laptop, get on their tablet, whatever it might be, still fulfill their family obligations, but as well as continue to take the classes and help them, move themselves forward in these crazy times.
Absolutely. And one of our biggest barriers, for our students, some of the biggest barriers before COVID was transportation. Not every family has multiple cars. Not every family has one car, and unfortunately, Attleboro and the greater Attleboro area doesn't have the strongest public transportation options. So our evening classes and some of our weekend classes were not available to folks who didn't have transportation. This really eliminates that barrier. It also mitigates the childcare barrier because folks can come to class while they're providing childcare at home. So some of our largest barriers that we were really trying to figure out how to solve when we were only in person have actually been solved by learning how to be virtual. And so those are things we will never give up.
No, and I think all of us in not only the business world, but every world have, we've had to adapt. Do I like being on the 4, 5, 6 Zoom calls I'm on a day? Not really. Nobody wants to look at this ugly mug all day long, but it's the best way that we can communicate and still get an awful lot of work done. So, Amanda, tell us if somebody is interested in learning more about what classes are available or how to sign up. I know Dave has put on the website. Is there another way that they can get more information?
Sure, yeah. So the website's the best place to go. It has all of our information, but we also have a community resources page that has information about as much as we can possibly think of that folks might need right now. So the literacycenter.com is the best place to go for information. They also can call. They can call me. They can call the number, on the screen, and someone will get back to them right away. I would say folks can also reach out to us via Facebook. We do check our Facebook page every day if they have questions or messages. Anyway, if you need assistance.
Well, awesome. Amanda, thanks for taking the time to jump on my show today, and it's a pleasure to have you on. Hang with us for just a minute. I got to shout out to Dave Angel and the team over there at AACS for putting up with me and putting on this show every week. They are a huge asset to this community. People don't realize how much work that AACS does and all the programs that they help us with, not just the chamber, but all the sports programs, the educational programs, the city council meetings. So big kudos to AACS. Dave, thanks once again. Folks, thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. And if there's something that you'd like us to cover on this show, give me a call, shoot me an email, whatever it might be. We'd sure like to do that. So thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Behave and be safe. Thanks.